back. We're back into the Grindhouse. What's up, everybody? Jez7780 here. What grinds my gears? Back with the Grindhouse. Here we go, baby. Glorious. It's back. New with 2020. Oh, yeah.
No deal.
Yes, deal. Soundboard's back, guys. What's up? We are here with another episode of The Grindhouse, and something has just come across the Twitter streets. In your daily news update, we got Gamestop showing some images of their new redesign. So if you recall, last year, GameStop started closing down stores and said that some of those stores are going to get revamped in their other stores, and they're going to expand, and they're going to be different, more entertainment focused, more kind of gamer focused, hands-on, a la Dave and Buster's arcade, stuff like that. Like, not really to that extreme, but more of a less of like a kind of pawn shop that just trade in and just like a store selling just like old stuff, reused, all that other stuff, but make it more of like a hangout place. Sounded pretty cool, and sounded like something that I used to experience back. And I talked about it a couple of times back in the day. There was a place in Brooklyn that was down the street from my grandmother's house, and it was on like West 7th Street or something like that, and it was in Kings Highway in Brooklyn. If anybody out there, shout out to Brooklyn. But it was this place where you would just go in, and they basically had cubicles set up with all different gaming systems: Neo Geo, Super Nintendo, NES, Genesis, Sega CD, all those systems set up like that in little cubicles, and little kind of gaming cubicles. And you would go up to the front desk, and you would pay money, and you would say, hey, I want to play this game. And behind the dude, there was a whole bunch of games from all the different consoles. And you would say, hey, I want to play this for like $5. I want to play for a half hour. And then you pick a game. Now, what was awesome about it is that you basically bought time. So you basically bought 30 minutes for like $5 or $10. Then you could play anything in there for that amount of time. So they would just put you in they would have you like, scan something, and then basically they had you with your timer on there, and you had a certain amount of time. And you just pick all these games. Especially at the time, Neo Geo was so expensive. You could play all the Neo Geo games and try them out and play them and stuff like that. And there were people like, I remember I played, Larry Bird versus Jordan, those whole games, the one-on-one game. And people were just like chilling and sitting there together. And, there was hangout for some of them. It was pretty cool. And I was like, this is awesome. This is like the next evolution of like what an arcade would be. Even though everybody's going to home consoles at the time. And this was early 90s, I think. So now we come to GameStop kind of redesigning its little kind of boutique stores, and the fact that they are, just robbing you with your trade-ins and things like that. Now they want to turn it into a club, like, not really like a club, but like a hangout. Cool thing. So these are the images that were shared on GameStop, and this new Love in This Club for GameStop. But here we go. I'm going to show some of these photos here. Here, let me get rid of this and go there. So, oops, there we go. So this is the setup of this GameStop, and you can kind of see their new redesign. Don't know what the hell this stuff is in the back. Are these servers and stuff? I don't know what the hell. These are the blades? Is this the cloud? I don't know what the hell that is. But, yeah, we got some TVs they got. But look, they got all these PCs set up. Or consoles. PCs, consoles. But look, they got switches here. They got some headphones there. Looks like they'll have a whole bunch of switches. A Fortnite. So basically, I'm sure that they don't have a breakdown of what this, do you have to pay? I'm sure you have to pay to play, at these stations and stuff like that. But it's this a thing of trying the games, hanging out, chilling with your friends, in these cool gaming chairs. And, this is all, I think this is really clever. This is where gaming should go too, especially with all the online stuff. Usually LAN tournaments, things like that. it would be cool to have this in your local area to, like, if a new game comes out or a game is like getting some class, you can have events and stuff like that, and it gets people in the store. Not with these crazy sales or stupid trade-ins and, oh yeah, we're gonna give you $5 for that game that we just sold you for $60. And stop being like this kind of just dirty ass, trading company, like this pawn shop, like that show, like Porn Stars, whatever the hell they are, where they're like, yeah, now I'll give you $10 for it, some bullshit like that. Like, this is really cool. And you can have events and stuff like that. And maybe you pay to play certain games or try out games. Also, too, see, you got the headphones here. That's a good way of marketing the headphones, selling the product by hands-on demonstrations. Hey, this chair's pretty ass comfortable. I like this chair. How much is it? Oh, you could buy it here, $200. Oh, those headphones are pretty cool. Where do you buy them? Oh, you can sell them right here. It gets people in the door, and it's smart marketing and smart ways to sell product. There's some PL. You see some Smash Brothers here, things like that. And it says, play to your thumb's content. And it says, so I guess this is like, these are like demo stations. And you pay to play. I don't know. I'm not sure what these is, just a library of games or not. But it's pretty cool. So now the next thing is, so this is the other part of it. So here's your regular GameStop. Like, it's kind of just a small little desk in the middle. And more of this open floor plan. And look, they got a big table with gaming chairs and stuff like that. But this is the craziest thing. I didn't even think this till I saw this photo. I was like, look at this. Birthday parties. Yo. They got those gaming trucks that pull up to your house. The guy shows up and you could play, pay $200 and you could like entertain like 12 people on this gaming truck. What about having your party at GameStop? I know it sounds horrible. It's like, oh my God, who wants to have a birthday party at GameStop? But if they have a cool thing like this where you order pizza, you hang out in here, and then you go over there and you play a whole bunch of games on LANs, and your buddies are fighting with each other. I'm not saying for the older crowd, but for the older crowd, if they make it a club, like, hang some beers and stuff like that, you get some bar and it'll be pretty cool, because I've known some bars that done this. I've known some bars where they just have like a gaming area or a barcade. Shout out Jersey City over there. I've been to that. That was pretty cool. It's all old school arcades, and it's a bar. And you basically put your beer in barcade. Dave & Buster's made off of that thing. I don't know if the liquor licenses and all that other stuff, but that's for the older crew. But for the younger kids, man, dude, Smash Brothers party. Bring in pizza, have this hang out, and then go hang out on the LAN that's set up right here, and you get to play there for a couple hours. That's friggin' birthday parties. Know what revenue that is? I can tell you from having kids how much these friggin' kid birthday parties cost. $300, $400 for 3 hours of jumping on beanbags. My son will go crazy over this. If they could just play all the games they want with all his friends. Dude, I see them, they come over and play all our games, and he goes and plays their games, man. Just have a party here. That's really cool. This does give a new rebranding or a new kind of outlook on what GameStop would be. This is pretty as cool. And then they got the cool couch over here. Now they got, it looks like all Switches and stuff like that. I'm sure they got Xboxes and PlayStations. But look, chill out here. You got this. You got a couch, some competitive stuff. Dude, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. And you don't need 3 GameStops in the area to like sell you to trade games and all that stuff, but still a store. And all this is ways to sell the product on the store, used games, things like that. But I could see a cool part of this. I think the hard part is that for GameStop to kind of evolve their brand, and people think of it as like a chill, like kind of club GameStop, which is pretty funny because like back in the day, back when like the 360 was launching and stuff like that, I had friends that worked at GameStop, and I used to call it the Bada Bing Club, because I would just go there, just like chill out, like hang out, talk to the guys, get some insights. They would give me some demos, like they'll tell me what games are coming out, and it was just chill, man. I'd just hang out there for like a half hour, just talking games to somebody. Because at the time, social media wasn't really around. There wasn't podcasts and things like that where you could talk about games, and it was cool to talk to people with similar likes and things like that. And the GameStop employees there were pretty cool. And actually I got to play Halo 2 early. He called me in saying, hey, you don't have to come in at midnight. Come in, I'm going to give it to you now. That was like a highlight, man. Getting to play Halo 2 during the day before it launched. I didn't have to go out at midnight because of, like, cool dudes over there at the GameStop years ago, man. Then again, it got sleazed with the credit cards, and it got into the sleaze aspect of it, and it just kind of turned into this like this, just kind of just toy store. Then they started taking like phones and trying to do trade-ins with cell phones and things like that. But I think this is pretty cool. I would like to see this in my area. To its success, I don't know, but yeah, I could tell you with kids' birthday pies, I think the birthday pie thing is something I didn't even think of. When I was seeing the pictures, I was like, this is cool, man. This reminds me of those demo stations and things like that. But, birthday party is a big revenue. Now, yeah, they could house, 8 kids and stuff like that. They're not big. But yeah, like, why not, man? You got the content. You got all games. You got all the systems. Why not? Why not let people try to buy and all that other stuff and just have a cool thing and charge $500 just to have people, like $300 for like 8 kids, 10 kids for 3 hours to play games. They got dance games. You got Just Dance. You could set up. They could set up tournaments. They could have a birthday tournament. There's a lot of stuff you can do with games, and I think this is definitely something that's really cool. Just by opening up the floor plan, doubling the space, and putting some TVs up there, some interactivity, some places. I've seen some game stores do this. Some brands that are not GameStop that sell used games that kind of have a back area where they did a party and they'll have like a projector, or they'll have a bunch of the tournament tables for even card games too. It's big, man. This social aspect of gaming, this couch co-op, especially with a lot of games nowadays, also indie too, they're going to couch co-op, and that stuff's still cool. Like, this age of playing online and everybody being gamer tags and things like that, the social aspect of it, and I see it every year at PAX, and just seeing just the people come together and just playing games and just elbowing your buddy, checking out this thing, it's really cool, like. And, with online gaming, the whole coming over and have, like, man, I used to have so many Rock Band parties, smoke machine lights. It was a thing, man. I had even a Connect party. Oh man, I'll tell you, one of the awesomest things we did was I had NBA, I don't think it was NBA Live back, it was 2K, and we hooked up one PlayStation with 2 multi-taps, and we had 8 players, man, playing basketball. We had like 4-on-4. It was crazy. And another time was I went over to my friend's house, and he had LAN party, Gears of War LAN party, man. He had 2 projectors set up, another room with like 3 monitors, and we had 2 guys on each of the things, and we played Gears all night on a LAN party. Same with Halo. LAN parties, it's fun when you got about like 5 or 10 people. I'm talking, and older, you got beer and wings and stuff like that. But it's pretty cool. So, and we've seen Dave & Buster's, Achievement, Chuck E. Cheese lives off of this game stuff. But hey, those arcade games, come on, man. These console games are just as fun, just as good, and you can play more people on them than a single player arcade or things like that. So this is pretty cool. So Club GameStop might be coming to your area soon. Love in this club.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions.
I want to know
them
when.
Answered immediately.
This is coming down because I got 3 GameStops in my location, and none of them are shut down yet. There's a mall. There used to be 2 in the mall. 1 in the mall, 1 in another shopping center, and 1 in another shopping center. They're like walking distance between each other. It's crazy. And one's a more popular store than the other ones. Like, usually if it's out of stock at the popular store, it's in stock at the other one. But again, I haven't gone to GameStop in so long. I actually, know what? I was just there. I haven't gone in there to buy any games. I go in there to look at the trinkets, to look at the the cool like game paraphernalia and things like that, because they get some cool little things. I go there with my son and we look at all this, like, some of the things, like they got I got gaming glasses there. I got I also check out their headphones and stuff like that, because they always you seem to get the new headphones in. You know, they have those kind of weird things. They have those things that the other stores don't carry so much. But also too, go look in there. But it's like a little it's a gaming toy store. Really, that's what it kind of turned into. And you see all the clearance stuff that they got. You know, we got a Spider-Man water bottle and stuff like that. But that's not the reason why they want people to go in these stores. You can't. Who thinks that's gonna be sufficient? You know what I mean? Selling gaming trinkets and paraphernalia. They tried because they had that whole thing with Think Geek. You know, they bought Think Geek and stuff like that. But this aspect is pretty cool. Make them bigger, you know. But also, it gets people in the door to play games. You could charge people, so maybe the trade-in values are better. Maybe maybe the stuff changes because if they get other revenue from like parties and things like that. But again, I think it's gonna be a tough cookie.
Put that cookie down now.
I think it's gonna be tough to try to take what GameStop was and what people think of GameStop and turn it in a cool place to be. That's the thing. And I think kids, I don't think it's that simple. I think for the older ones, like the parents and stuff, to think, what? I'm going to have a party at GameStop? What? I think, you know, they might be...
Take it back!
Yeah, I don't know. But definitely a rebranding. They maybe should name GameStop Club, like Club GameStop. You know what I mean? You know, or something like that. Or game I don't know. I don't know offhand. I can't think of that quick over there. But Club GameStop, you know. Put some, like, you know, lights and smoke machines in there and have a party. You know, midnight launch parties and have, you know, there's a lot of potential. That's where I'll leave it as. A lot of potential. And these were pretty cool pitches. I thought they were pretty cool. And, you know, I think that this is something that might have some potential. Whether it's successful, who knows? How many they're going to put up there. But this is really, it's pretty cool. And yeah, I don't know if they could afford putting a whole bunch of PCs, because I have seen a couple of places that had launched, you know, PC LAN party places, and they charge you to play and things like that. And I've actually seen some, and they didn't really last that long, you know, these PC pop-ups like LAN parties, and they tried to get some cool, you know, some people in there and hang out, but it didn't really work. But now, you know, yeah, this might work, and I can't see them like putting all PCs there. I think that's very expensive and too much liability putting like huge gaming towers and like lined up there. I could see them using their used consoles, you know, even though, you know, they might say like, you know, it's really used if it just sits out there and gets beat up. Like, we can't really resell it. I don't know that aspect of it, but it's really cool. But again, instead of selling the used console, if you could charge somebody, you know, $5 for a half hour, and they stay there and they just get hooked and they hang out there for a couple hours, and you make $15-20 off them to play a game that was in a used pile with a console that was sitting backed up in a refurbished console sitting in a box. And a game just sitting on shelves for like, you know, $20. Somebody, hopefully they buy it. Why don't you put that game, hook up a cheap monitor to it, hook that game up to them? And they also have keyboards and mouse, so they might have some PCs hooked up to this stuff too. But like, think about it. A console sitting in a box, man, I could put that console on the shelf right now and charge people $5 to play it for a half hour. And they can play any game that they want. Now that console that's sitting in a refurbished box is making money. Hey man, it's business. It's all business. But this is pretty cool, you know? And if they do something like this, I might consider having a birthday, like my son's birthday party and stuff like that. I think he would think it's pretty cool. Even though pretty much my house is like, you know, my gaming area is like pretty much like this. But no, man, for everybody, you know, not everybody has the ability to have these great setups of games and stuff like that. They're playing games on small. Who knows? But, you know, pretty cool. Pretty cool. So yeah, I was like, "Ooh, that looks pretty cool, man." So I wanted to drop that here in the Grindhouse, something, food for thought, really neat. But I want to thank you guys again, Grinders, the Grindhouse episode, and we are going to be Ghost. Here we go. Thank you again, guys. So like, subscribe to videos, and maybe I'll see you at Club GameStop. Woo! yourself in this club.